been having some conversations with regards to the comprehensive plan, and I was under the assumption that the comprehensive plan was comprehensive in that we would look at the entire county holistically as a whole, with everything on the table, including the rural area and what the future of the rural area would look like with regards to commercial, industrial, and even residential. And I've determined that the comp plan as it now stands is not necessarily looking at the county comprehensively. So I'd like to direct county staff, when they're doing the comprehensive plan, to look at our county, the entire county, holistically going forward with the comp plan with regards to where we're going to be 20 years from now, 20 or 30 years from now for our 2040 plan. And just include everything. Yes.
That was a directive?
That was a directive.
Okay, couple questions for you. Are you referring to the current updates, or what are you referring to specifically about the comp plan holistically?
So
be more specific.
I thought they were going to look at the whole entire county, and even with the rural area, say, okay, these are things that you could do or place things anywhere throughout the county.
Are you referring to certain chapters though?
The land use chapter.
Okay.
Just the land, not any of the updates or none of the small area plans, just the land use. Well, mobility too, in the mobility chapter.
Okay. So, yeah, it's my understanding that they were not looking at the rural area because of the rural preservation study. Is that what you were told?
The rural preservation study aside, no matter what it comes back with, because that's still, I think it's going to the Planning Commission soon. I'm talking about even with the rural preservation study, the rural preservation study has no plans for the rural area for the next 20 years, does it?
What? Say that again?
The rural preservation study has some general ideas. I know it has a couple of small CR1 areas.
Well, the preservation study hasn't been formally, adopted by the board. So I think it's important, if we're going to look at the comprehensive plan land use chapter, if we're going to include the rural area, as open for, a different type of development.
Right, whether it's clustering with sewer or something.
Or data centers or distribution centers, or whatever.
Commercial, industrial, residential.
Right. So I think it's important that the preservation study be included as part of staff's work. If they're going to look at the entire county, because it's my understanding that they were siloing those. The rural preservation study was one thing, the land use chapter and the development area was another. Was that your
understanding? I guess I'm not sure where the rural preservation study is and what is going to be the outcome of that.
Hearing. I mean, it's literally.
And so let's say the rural preservation study gets voted down. Where does that leave us on land use? For the land use chapter.
I see your point. I'm suggesting though that if staff was planning to silo those, which is what the course had been up until maybe your directive, that they be
I guess
considered together, unless your intent is to not have any preservation tools. Like I think it's important that they not be siloed. Then that they are interfaced.
True, the rural depending on how the rural preservation study ends up, or even after it goes to the Planning Commission and comes to this board and what changes we make with it. I guess that I'd have to sort of look at the rural preservation study and see if it includes the entire rural areas throughout the county. I mean, because that sort of goes, the rural preservation study doesn't fit well with the directive to look at commercial and industrial places in the rural area either, right?
No, so the whole intent was to preserve the rural area, and in order to preserve it,
is it preserving 100% of it? I haven't read it.
I'm sorry?
Are they preserving 100% of it?
I would recommend that you become more familiar with it, because it's coming to us soon, and the whole intent was how do we preserve the rural area And
So I
and
guess
we've
I'm
got
saying
these
my
three-
directive is
Yeah.
a little bit broader to saying perhaps we use the tools we can to preserve open space in the rural area,
Well,
but it would be different than just preserving the rural area as it stands now.
yeah,
I'm definitely.
I certainly don't. I object to your directive because I do not welcome any notion, any exploration of commercial and industrial in the rural area. So if that's what your intent is, which it sounds like, the more you're explaining yourself, then I object to it, and we'll have to take a vote on it.
Okay, because I've actually already given a directive about industrial and commercial in the rural area. That we have a sitting.
Now
directive.
you've made public statements that make it very much more clear. Your directive was looking at land for commercial and industrial. I think it was after the asphalt plant, but
Right.
now I'm definitely more attuned to what your intent is because of your public statements. So
And my
in all
public statement is I
fairness,
want to look at the county holistically. I do.
Yeah,
I'm willing to own that. I've said that for a long time, so that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's great.
I know you've said what you've said publicly, and I know what you've said on the campaign trail a couple years ago. So I'm just you shouldn't be surprised by my objection.
No, that's fine.
so-
That's fine. So
so-
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to pass my directive. Do I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Supervisor Angry, he's very large over there. Okay, Supervisor Angry has a second. I just want to look at the comprehensive plan. I just want it to be holistic.
Well, I think in all fairness, what you want to do, you're trying to put a ribbon on it, but really what you want to do, and you've said it, so you might as well just be more frank about it, is you want to put commercial and industrial in the rural area, and I'm objecting to that, so that's why we're going to go to the vote. I'm
Okay.
sure I'm going to lose it, but at least I'm on record objecting to it, and you're on record supporting it, and that's how
I
we
definitely
govern.
look at supporting all options.
I
Madden,
have no doubt that you do.
Ms. Madden, can you call the roll, please?
Chair Wheeler,
Aye.
Supervisor Angry,
Aye.
Supervisor Bailey, aye. Supervisor Bodie,
Aye.
Supervisor Franklin,
Aye.
Supervisor Lawson.
No, that would be a no. And then I have another question regarding your earlier objective. I didn't want to interrupt you, but as long as I have the microphone. I actually recall quite a while ago, I think it was in the former board, that we I think it was Supervisor Anderson put a directive in that the county staff communications department look at televising. We could live stream the